Hey guys, how you doing? It's Vince. Wanted to shoot a quick video. Had my birthday a couple days ago, and I got some stuff for my birthday. I got some stuff on my birthday, which I guess I can count as presents as well, and a little bit of Goodwill stuff. And so I figured I'd show them to you. Playing in the back right now, Wishbone Ash Pilgrimage, their second album. People. This is actually a second press from the original MCA Black Label. It was originally on Decca. I actually used to have a Decca one, but this thing, when I bought it, was like almost brand new looking, so I swapped them. Anyway, that's what's in the back. I'm going to start with Goodwill stuff and work my way up into stuff that I got for my birthday, and specifically for my brother, because we pretty much exchanged music stuff on Christmas and birthdays. So I can pretty much guarantee I get some stuff every birthday and Christmas, which is kind of cool. Okay, start with Goodwill stuff. Charlie Daniels Windows. This was actually in shrink, $2. It's almost perfect. There's a few fingerprints I had to clean off it, but other than that, it plays like brand new. There's the back. Lyric sleeve. It's on the regular blue Epic label, and to prove that it had the shrink on it, little hypey sticker there for a song called Still in Saigon, which I actually did remember. I haven't heard it in a long time. So it's kind of cool. It's actually my first Charlie Daniels album. I kind of went for a long time not being leery of buying stuff by him, because I'm not a big country person, even though I like country rock, so I was kind of thinking that he was teetering more towards country than rock. But as I got older, I kind of realized that he was probably more rock than country, so I would dig his stuff. But this is the first one I got, so looking forward to playing the rest of that. Next, jazz, Jimmy Smith, Peter and the Wolf. I played half of this so far, and it's kind of like the story of Peter and the Wolf, and some of the orchestration from the story, with him intermittently in and out doing his thing on the organ with his group. So it's kind of interesting. Information back. This was in probably VG, maybe a little better than VG. Original Verve. So it's kind of cool. I've only got like 3 or 4 of his albums and a couple singles, so hopefully I can find some more, because I really like him. One of the female jazz vocalists that my dad was into, kind of got from him, Sarah Vaughan, Golden Hits. Haven't played much of this so far. This one's in VG, which is pretty cool for an old Mercury. Usually these things are pretty hammered, and it didn't even have a sleeve in it, and it was still in good shape, so I had to put a sleeve in here. So it's kind of cool to find that. And then last one from today was kind of the coolest one, I think. It was actually a Ramsey Lewis album from the early 70s. Abendo ni Pamoja. I don't know what the hell that means. Kind of interesting. This one's in shrink too, and actually is a hype sticker, because they did a version of Slipping into Darkness by War. And actually is a price sticker on the back, which is kind of interesting. I don't know where Record Factory was, but it was $4.98. And this thing is, with cleaning, is pretty much unplayed. So I've never seen this one before. So for $2, what the heck? It was kind of cool. Then from my last Goodwill a few days ago, I think it was a few days before my birthday, I think. Didn't find much, but I found these, and these probably aren't records I would have normally got, but being the condition of the covers especially, and the records themselves as well for the most part, I decided to throw in $2 a piece for them and see what they were like. This one I was least excited about, and I was actually thinking of selling it because it's actually, the record-wise, was almost perfect, and being that it's from probably the late 50s, it's kind of surprising. But Paul Anka, Diana. This album is actually really strange. I mean, I knew the song Diana was one of his hits, but there's a whole bunch of odd songs mixed together. It's almost like this strange concept album that doesn't make any sense. There's actually 2 Christmas tunes on here, and he does Your Cheatin' Heart by Hank Williams, and Sing Sing Sing, the Louis Prima song, and Swanee, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's, you know, for being an early rock and roll guy, most of the stuff on here is really kind of pop jazz type stuff. So I was probably going to sell it, and then I went to clean it, and something stuck to my rag, and I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can, right there. It did that to it. Now, for my sake, the good thing is it doesn't make any noise. It's surface. But considering that, here's the other side, this was what condition it was in the first place. I probably could have got a decent amount of money for this thing. But being that I did that by accident, I'm probably going to keep it. And like I said, I don't really play full albums anyway. So to have a Paul Anka song pop up, even if it's his version of Jingle Bells, which I would probably skip that one, but pop up in my 3,500 albums once I'm playing my sets, probably wouldn't bother me too much. So, the cool thing is this covers look like only brand new. It's pretty scary how clean this stupid thing is without me doing anything to it. And the second one, I probably would have bought anyway because I kind of like him. But this is actually his first pop jazz album, Bobby Darin. That's all. And then this is an original from the late 50s. You see how clean this cover is? And now, neither of these had shrink on them. They were just this clean. Now the record's not as good as the other one. It's probably a little better than BG. It's got a lot of surface stuff, but nothing's deep on it. So it really doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of noise. But the cool thing about this is, this was the album with Mac the Knife on it. Plus, it's on that original early logo label, which I don't own anything on. So it was cool to get something like that. As far as musically, it's like Mac the Knife. It's all kind of pop jazz stuff. And I know some of the songs from other people doing it, and it's okay. Darren's got a pretty decent pop jazz voice, and I enjoy it better than the Anka one. So obviously, I'm pretty happy having this stuff mixed in. Alright, so other than that, I did find 4 CDs, so I'll throw up in here real quick for Goodwill stuff. These are from today's load. Kate Bush, Red Shoes. I didn't have anything Kate Bush-wise newer than like 88, I think. So it'll be interesting to hear what this sounds like. Joan Armatrading. Show Some Emotion, which I think I know that song, but I don't think I know anything else on here. This is like their second or third album. And I just got her first album a few months ago at Goodwill, and it was pretty good. Before that, the only thing I had was a couple singles of tunes that I knew, and that was it. So it's cool to find that. I wasn't, something else I wasn't expecting to find. This kind of common, but didn't have this one. I kind of like In Excess, and this is The Swing. This was kind of like the album after their big breakout one, Shabu Shaba, I believe it was. So I should know a few tunes off of here. There's the back. And it's original Atco from the 90s. And lastly, the one I was most excited about, because I literally don't own anything by this group, and for the longest time, I thought they were one of those kind of 90s alternative grungy things because I'd never heard them, and their name to me suggested that that's what they were, and I'm not really into that stuff. So I never bought anything by them. Come to find out, they were a progressive group stuck in the 90s and actually had some great material. Well, I finally found one for $2 in the Porcupine Tree. And this is Fear of the Blank Planet. And the CD's in really good shape too, so it should play fine. So I'm kind of excited to have that. I've been wanting this guy's solo album that came out this year. I mean, I listened to it online. I really went nuts over it, and kind of hoping to win one in the contest. Didn't happen. So hopefully I'll get it at some point. Anyway, so that's all my Goodwill stuff. Next, we're going to go over the stuff I got from Oldies.com. Now, I never got anything from this place before. A few VC members had mentioned this place before, so I figured I'd go out and see what they had. I had maybe about $20 worth of credit to use that I was going to use towards that, and figured I'd find a couple things, but then noticed they had a cheap section, so I always check cheap sections first anyway to see if there's anything cool in there for, you know, a few bucks. So I went through the whole $5 and under section, going through all the pages, and I ended up finding 6 albums. Now, none of these are groundbreaking or worth a whole hell of a lot of money, but the cool thing is to get $20 of records these days that are sealed, brand new, is pretty cool, because albums are expensive these days. So, that was cool. I found 6, and I'll show you what I got. Now, the thing is that kind of bothered me, and I knew about this because I worked at a record warehouse back in the 80s, and we had one of these, which was a shrink wrap machine. And we used to have to re-shrink wrap albums where the shrink wrap had split. They were still new albums, but the shrink wrap had split and they didn't want to put it out. So I picked one up. So I noticed there's a cutout here, right? But you see the plastic goes over the cutout. So obviously these have all been resealed. Now the thing is, they've all got little things to show that. They've all got cuts, or one of them actually has some water stains. Thing is, I opened them up, pulled them out, looked at the records, they all look brand new, like they were never played. So I have a feeling that these were records that were sealed in some warehouse, but the shrink wrap was coming off or something was bad, and they just redid them. So anyway, I'll start with this one. This is a group called the Cinceros. Now, I knew of them because I had a long time ago, I got this promo single, 4-song promo that had 4 different groups on it, all kind of like Elvis Costello-ish type groups from '79, and the Cinceros are one of them. Now, the song was from actually their first album, which I do own, but this was their second and other album, and I'd kind of been looking for this on eBay last year when I was buying stuff, and never ended up getting one. I found this one on there for like $3 or $4. I figured, sealed $3 or $4, and what the hell? So there's back, front, other way around. Pick sleeve, lyrics. So that was kind of cool. These guys are pretty good. I kind of like them. Next one is pretty common. It's a Cliff Richard album from '77. It's the album after the album that had his first big hit here, Devil Woman. And like I said, this is something I would probably find in the $1 or $2 bin, but this is brand new. I'd rather pay a couple bucks and get it actually unplayed. So that's what I got. So there's that one. This was another one that you find in the $1 bin, but I would have bought it at some point. Bob Welsh. Well, this is 81, so this is kind of like his 4th or 5th album. So it's after he had, you know, his hits in the late 70s. But he's still making some pretty decent rock stuff. Now, once again, like I said, a $1 bin one, but brand new for $2. But water stains. Water stains. So, sort of new. Next one is kind of interesting because it's actually a promo. Invisible Men. This is Anthony Phillips, the original guitar player from Genesis, one of his solo groups. It's actually a duo. And this is actually a promo on Passport. There's the promo sticker, but the plastic is over it. And it was actually over the hole. So, you know, obviously it was rewrapped, but still cool. Another one, that was a cutout, where the plastic's over the cutout. Sad Cafe is a group that was out in the mid to late 70s through the early 80s. Kind of a mainstream rock band from England. The main reason there's a reference to these guys is this guy, Paul Young, was in Mike and the Mechanics. And he's the one who sang All I Need Is a Miracle. So he was the singer for Sad Cafe. And now this album actually came out in '86. So this is actually after Mike and the Mechanics, and Mike Rutherford actually plays on here. So, interested to see what that's like. The last one I got from there is a group called, actually at this point they were called Big Wahoo. Dumbass name. But this is from '77. Now, the main person from this group that anybody would know at all is Mr. Palmer over here. David Palmer was on the first Steely Dan album as their singer before Mr. Fagan decided to be the singer. So he actually sings the song Dirty Work from that first album and several others on there, but that was the one hit off that album that anybody would know. So he had this group, made like 3 or 4 albums in late 70s, early 80s. That's pretty good. So that's that stuff. And the next one was actually an eBay buy that I got for $1, luckily, because this album is usually on there for 15, 20, 25, and I happened to catch it by accident, and so I ended up buying it. It's called Ambergris, and it's got a chicken in the front. Actually, if you split it, you get 2 chickens. And the funny thing is, on the gatefold, the guys are actually eating chicken. It's kind of like when they have a chicken for a restaurant that sells chicken, like a pretend chicken or a drawn chicken, like trying to sell the restaurant that sells chicken. It's like kind of like, hey, come eat me, that kind of thing. So anyway, horn rock, a little on the progressive side, pretty good stuff. I had a single from this, so I kind of already knew what they were like. So that was kind of cool for $1. And it's original. It's got even got a Paramount sleeve in it that's got plastic in it too. Alright, last we're going to do my brother's stuff. Now, let's start with the 2 CDs. Aviary. Now this is a group that made a really great progressive album in 1979 when progressive music was dead, so it didn't sell. They kind of broke up. They turned into more of a new wavy group, and they made an album that didn't get released. And then this guy, Mike Love, the main guy, the singer and one of the chief songwriters, he made a solo album, also didn't do well. But then he ended up working with some other groups in the 80s and then retired. So this group, Aviary, about a year ago, reformed with Brad Love, the original singer, the original guitar player and drummer, and his brother on bass, because the bass player had passed away several years ago. And then they put this album of new material on. Now my brother actually knows the singer, and I kind of know him. He actually met him once. He was living in Texas at the time. He lives in California now. So anyway, this is the packaging. There's the CD. And I've only listened to one song on here so far, so I don't really have a good idea what it's like. How it compares to the old album that I have. But there's that. Now, this one's kind of interesting because in 1978, my mother went to Israel on vacation, by herself. She came back and got each of us an album. The one I got was actually kind of a compilation. It was actually from a festival. So it had different artists on it, and they were actually different types of artists. I mean, there was like a disco singer, and there was rock people, and there was folk people, and so it varies in styles and what have you. So that's what I got. my brother got this album. Now, this is actually a rock band called Tammuz, an actual Israeli rock band. Now, my brother also does professional transfers of analog items to digital and makes CDs for people. And he does anything, and then he cleans it up too, so they sound a lot better. So he did it of this album, because this is really hard to find. Now, one of the singers on here actually plays 2 songs on my album as a solo artist after this band broke up. So actually, I already knew a couple tunes off of here anyway. And there was actually the true back cover. That was kind of cool, because I haven't heard that in forever. Got the single. Looks like it's a Record Store Day from 2012 from Sundays. This is the Blues Magoos, the group that had a few hits in the mid-60s. This was actually a single that they released before that. And actually had a different spelling, as you can see. I actually had this and one of the other songs on here on a mix cassette that this guy made me in the 80s when I was working at the record store. He was really into 60s garage music, and he made me a tape of all this stuff. And 2 of these tunes actually happened to be on there. So it was kind of cool seeing this. And it's on a reproduction for Folkways label, which is cool. And then there's one extra song in here that wasn't on there. So that was very cool to see that. I wasn't expecting that one, that's for sure. Next was the one rebuy. This is one thing that I needed desperately, because the copy of this I've had since we were kids, and it was beat to hell. It sticks it by traffic. This one's clean as can possibly be, short of having a United Artists picture sleeve, which it doesn't. The only bad thing about this is property of Steve Wendell on the label, stamped on it. But other than that, this thing's almost like brand new. So, definitely happy for this one, because I dig this album. It's actually probably the first one I ever owned by them. A couple more. The third, and one I didn't have other than the live album that they put out recently, Captain Beyond, Dawn Explosion. Played a song off here so far. It sounds like Captain Beyond with a different singer, because the guy from Deep Purple's not on this one, but it is good. So I'm happy to have that. Speaking of Deep Purple, Ian Gillan Band, live at the Budokan. It says Volume 1 and 2. There's actually 2 records in there, but it's not a gatefold. They're just in the sleeves. This is the band before the heavy metal band Gillan. They put out 3 studio albums. And it's really kind of jazz rocky, progressive sounding stuff, but really cool stuff. And then they also do Smoke on the Water and Woman from Tokyo on here too. I'm curious to see what those versions sound like. So this is on Virgin UK version. And last, the one who he was most excited to find me, one I was missing. Cooper, Pretty's for You. See a little bit up there, which kind of sucks. But the other funny thing is, you see that there, covering up the privates, which anybody who's seen the real cover, you know what I'm talking about. Back, and kind of cool gatefold. Now this is on straight. It's not on Warner Brothers, which is cool. It's in really good shape. I'd say VG+. And it's on this straight label. Now, he thought it was an original. I'm thinking it's 2nd generation, but I'm sure it's still worth some money. I know I've seen this label with this on here, with yellow.